fought in war footing.
No, absolutely. But at the same time, let me get you into this, Tariq. First of all, I want you to respond to the points that are being made here. Do you believe, you're fighting the case for Duncan Grant, do you believe that India has become a global center of this child sex tourism industry? Do you believe in that?
Well, not exactly. I wouldn't say it has become a global center for pedophilia, for the simple reason that statistics would show that this is only the second or third matter where we are debating on the issue of whether foreigners
where we are debating, not the fact that it exists.
Well, the issue is we need statistics first.
No, in your case, the Sessions Court, while convicting Duncan Grant under so many sections, said a deterrent punishment is required, and it said let pedophiles all over the world know that India should not be their destination in the future. But that was what the court said in the Duncan Grant and Alan Waters case.
Definitely, as a citizen, even I would endorse what the learned judge has said. But you see, we need effective enforcement officers who investigate these matters thoroughly.
So that's a standard explanation. What you're giving is a standard legal, blame the police officers.
No, we are not blaming anybody. What we are trying to come to is to come to an effective conclusion as to what is the remedy. Ultimately, if pedophiles are going to be acquitted in the courts on lack of evidence, it amounts to the effect that we are ineffective.
It's not lack of evidence. I disagree. It's not lack of evidence. It is the fact, and let me get in Nicole on this. It is the fact that, for example, we take 377, which is sodomy. A child cannot prove the evidence under 377. This whole system of proving it under 377 is impossible for a child, isn't it, Nicole? To use this option as a legal remedy.
Arnab, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I think we need to understand, Arnab, that child sexual abuse is a very complex issue. Okay, child sexual abusers most often are people in a position of trust, people who have long-term relationships with children, and people who are abusing them periodically in different ways, in different forms, that are not necessarily recognized under the Indian law. So when we're talking about legislation, we're talking about the need to have legislation that really understands the complexity of child sexual abuse.
Right.
We're talking about legislation that defines various forms in which children are abused.
Yep.
Legislation that recognizes that children, may report abuse, not necessarily the minute it happens, and not all forms of child sexual abuse may be recorded in medical evidence.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about a law that recognizes and makes makes space for evidence to be recorded in a very sensitive fashion.
Okay.
We're talking about law that puts responsibility on stakeholders at the time that the child complains. We're talking about maybe the need to consider mandatory reporting for professionals in positions of trust.
No, but let me put it this way. No, let me put it this way. Let me ask Majid Memon, because Majid Memon, you are taking a defensive position here. Even if today Paul Allen is held, and if it is proven that Paul Allen is one of the world's worst child abusers and pedophiles from Australia, am I right or wrong, Majid Memon, in saying we cannot do anything against him as per our existing law? So why are you blaming the system?
No,
we can't do anything as per our existing law against Paul Allen.
Arnav, let me make it very clear. See, today our courts, if you look at the system, as far as legal system is concerned, our courts are slow in granting bail to foreign nationals.
No.
Because
Majid Memon, I asked you
a
specific question, sir. No, I asked you a specific question, sir. Specific question, sir.
Yeah, please.
I am asking you a question today that the pedophiles deported to India from foreign countries are free. They cannot be prosecuted in India for a crime committed abroad. Am I right or wrong, sir, that there is no clear definition of sexual abuse? Hence, these poor Indian children are at the mercy of the judiciary's discretion in that case. Am I right or wrong, sir? That's the real problem.
Let us not confuse. You see, territorial jurisdiction is indeed always a matter of consideration. If the offences are committed outside India, they can't be tried in India. You see,
So
that's,
we
they,
have to
they
then
have to be handed over to the country where the offences are committed.
No, because pedophiles are choosing countries like India, aren't they? Let me get in another, Shireen. Aren't
no,
pedophiles
correct. But
choosing
if
India?
they choose,
No, pedophiles
now
are
if they have
choosing
chosen
countries
India,
like India because it is much easier to do
precisely.
it here and get away because of the lack
correct,
of
correct.
vigilance. Unless they would not dare to
Now,
abuse children in their
yeah,
own
yeah,
countries.
please.
Am I wrong, Shireen?
Yeah, please give me 1 minute. See, as you say, I agree with what
No,
you
it's
say.
absolutely right.
that
I
if
mean,
any-
it should be
any
a
such
non-bailable
offender-
offence. I mean,
Okay.
Paul Allen was granted bail. I
Yeah.
mean, it's because paedophilia
No.
or sexual
Well, let
abuse
her
is
complete.
treated very lightly. It should absolutely be made a non-bailable offence. And on the other hand, it is an environment because we have such rampant child sexual abuse, like Anuja pointed out. It's very easy. They know that, and it's a kind of a racket that operates. So one tells the other, and the other tells, and they know that India is indeed a soft target, and it's easy for them to get away.
Absolutely.
I mean, our laws are really very, very inadequate, and then we do not have the other systems, all the other things that are needed to protect children. So children themselves find in most of the sexual abuse cases go unreported because there is nowhere for children to go, nowhere where they feel safe. I mean, look at the Ruchika Gupta example, for instance. She reported, she had the courage many years ago. Today, at least, there's slightly more awareness. But when she reported, what happened to her?
We are raising
there's
this
nothing
issue
that
today.
protects young children, or indeed sometimes their families. So
we are raising,
really do need to have much stricter laws, and we need to have much more widespread awareness across the board.
Shireen,
and
the
especially
reason
the tourism industry,
Shireen,
where it
the
is
reason
easy to operate. Codes of conduct. I think Goa has a Children's Act, which has a code of conduct.
Shireen,
so that's
the reason
probably
we are
only
raising
state.
this today.
And a country like Thailand is much more vigilant,
Absolutely.
has specific laws, and we could do much better.
No, Shireen, the reason we are raising this today, and I want to get more views, because we don't believe that as a country which keeps saying that let us invest in the future generation, when we know that there are child sex destinations from Goa, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Kerala, Rajasthan, Delhi, Agra, Mumbai, all tourist centers, when the rest of the country punishes child sex abuse with life imprisonment and capital punishment, in our country what happens, Majid Memon? These people actually feel comfortable. No, they abuse our children and they feel comfortable about it. That's the whole point.
No.
Yeah,
See,
okay, you want to make a point,
one,
Anuja, go ahead.
I would agree. See, I would agree now on this proposal that as far as grant of bail is concerned, that the law must be tight enough, severe law, that bail should be forbidden to such offenders.
No.
Now, in this case, which we are referring to, the man got bail and absconded. How did he leave the country when even his passport was deposited?
I'm saying today, even if this man is held under section 377 of the IPC, which criminalizes sodomy, it can be used in the case of child sexual abuse. But its references to unusual sexual offences makes it difficult for a child to use this option. And we know it is difficult for the child to use that option, but we are not on the side of the Indian child. We are on the side of the foreign pedophile. And I don't understand that. Anuja wanted to make a point.
What I want to say 2 points, Arnav. One is that pedophiles function in a very particular manner, and psychologically their makeup is very different from child molesters. Okay, we must make a distinction between pedophiles and child molesters. Pedophiles are people who work in rings. So you catch one pedophile, you have the option and the opportunity to actually break an entire ring of pedophiles because they network with each other. Unlike child molesters who live at home and silently abuse children. Secondly, psychologically, pedophilia is listed under what we call paraphilias, which are sexually deviant behaviors for which there is no cure. So once a pedophile is caught, he has to be incarcerated because he will not stop abusing, and there is no cure.
I'm running short of time.
Therapy or help is going to stop that man from sexually abusing children. So if you let go of one pedophile, you're actually letting go and letting loose on society people who are going to sexually abuse repeatedly. And pedophiles abuse large numbers of children. You'll find in pedophiles, when you arrest pedophiles, you'll find records.